Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 Prix de West Awards presentation. Please welcome the President and CEO of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, Natalie Shirley, and Board of Directors Chairman, Hank True.
Here we are.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 49th Annual Prix de West. After a very challenging 2020, we are so fortunate to be able to gather safely and appreciate the bounty of the fine art created by the most talented artists working in the Western genre today. Prix de West is the museum's largest annual fundraiser, and we're honored to host this exhibition and sale. Now, whether this is your first time attending or you're a returning guest, we truly appreciate your support. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate these talented artists and honor their contributions and preservation of the West.
Many of you have joined us in the art seminars in the museum. You've had the opportunity to enjoy the variety of the art in this year's Prix de West, with works ranging from historical places to reflect the early days of the West to the more contemporary and impressionistic works of art. This afternoon, we are delighted to present the several artists with our distinguished awards. Each year, we provide cash awards and special medallions to the artists who have excited these various categories. These awards are sponsored by those who recognize the value of encouraging the artists to realize their creative potential. Our Prix de West committee works hard all year long to make this world-class event possible. Leading that committee and here to begin our art recognition, welcome Prix de West Chairman Dan Karazi.
Thank you, Hank. Good afternoon. To say the least, I think we would all agree that it is a pleasure to be back at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum for this year's in-person Prix de West show. While last year certainly had its challenges for all of us, the Prix de West persevered, and we were still able to virtually celebrate contemporary Western art at the 2020 show. And I want to thank all of our artists and all of our Prix de West collectors who made that possible. And before we begin announcing this year's Prix de West award winners, I would like to first acknowledge our 2020 award winners who were virtually announced last year, while the pandemic that we all endured prevented us from gathering and celebrating their achievements last year. The 2020 award winners certainly deserve to be introduced in person, and they deserve a round of applause from all of us. So artists, as I call your names, please stand and remain standing until all of last year's winners have been announced. Winning the 2020 Donald Teague Memorial Award for the best work of art on paper was Scott Burdick for his piece entitled Ponca Nation. Our 2020 Express Ranch's Great American Cowboy Award went to Carrie L. Ballantyne for her work entitled Young Hand, and Carrie is unable to be with us this weekend. The 2020 James Earl Frazer Sculpture Award was presented to Harold Holden for his work entitled Strike Lightning. And the 2020 Major General and Mrs. Don D. Pittman Wildlife Award was presented to Andrew Peters for his work entitled Pleistocene Messengers. And the 2020 Wilson Hurley Memorial Award for an outstanding landscape was presented to Ralph Oberg for his work entitled A Remnant of Wildness. And the 2020 Robert Lockheed Memorial Award was presented to Matt Smith for his works, plural, entitled North Fork Creek, North Wash Autumn, Point Lobos, and the San Miguel in winter. And the 2020 Frederick Remington Painting Award was presented to Kyle Polson for his work entitled Buffalo Drum. And the 2020 Jackie L. Coles Buyer Choice Award was presented to Martin Greeley for his work entitled Safe Within the Circle. And as we heard about 20 minutes ago, the 2020 Prix de West Purchase Award went to Bill Anton for his work entitled Makeshift Ambulance. Bill's beautiful piece now hangs in the museum's permanent collection, so be sure to view this artwork if you have not already done so. And congratulations once again to all of our 2020 Prix de West Award winners. Of course, Prix de West would not be the premier event that it is without our dedicated and loyal Prix de West artists. And this year, we welcome 4 new artists who are exhibiting with us for the first time. First one is Ed Mell, whose work brings an architectural eye to the desert, from landscapes to storms to longhorn cattle and to desert flowers. Ed presents the American Southwest in bold colors and vivid lines that energize the vistas with his singular style. Next, Thomas Blackshear II, who is known for his dramatic lighting and sensitivity to mood. Thomas's Western compositions continue to win awards and to find new audiences, and he's been featured on the covers of Art of the West and Western Art Collectors magazines. Also, Yuan Liu, with more than 40 years of experience as an illustrator, a teacher, and a painter, Yuan became enamored with the buildings, the colors, and the landscapes of New Mexico after he first moved to America. And last, we welcome Rosita Santiago, whose work is recognized and collected internationally. Rosita is fascinated by beauty, illusion, and the unknown, as well as by people, their artifacts, and Rosita believes that each subject deserves its own voice in its execution. Additionally, we also have several Prix de West artists celebrating notable service anniversaries this year. First are the artists who are celebrating 5 years at Prix de West, and as I announce your names, if you would simply stand. For 5 years, we have Kang Cho, Bonnie Maris, and Mian Situ. Next are the artists exhibiting for their 10th year, Scott Burdick, Brent Cotton, and Jeremy Lipking. And congratulations to these artists who are celebrating their 15th year, John Coleman, Dan Maduke, Ralph Oberg, and Andrew Peters. Exhibiting for their 20th year, congratulations to Luke Frazer, Bruce Green, Mel Lawson, and Tim Schinnebarger. And celebrating his 25th year is Tim Cherry. And believe it or not, congratulations to these artists who are exhibiting for the 30th year. Len Shamil, Dan Gerhardt, Jim Morgan, and John Moyers. And exhibiting for his 35th year, congratulations to Joseph Bowler. And finally, this one is amazing, the artist who is participating in his 45th Prix de West, we celebrate Walt Gonski. And although you've been clapping all along, once again, please give all of our Prix de West artists one more round of applause. Additionally, we would like to honor the memory of several members of the Prix de West artist community. And because we were unable to celebrate in person last year, we will include those artists whom we've lost in the past 2 years. First, we've lost Ken Bunn, who was a participating artist for 37 years in the Prix de West. We also lost Glenna Goodacre, who began exhibiting at the Prix de West in 1977 and continued throughout the 1980s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, and exhibiting for the Prix de West for the last time in 2013. We also lost Everett Raymond Kinsler, who exhibited 7 years at the Prix de West, and James Kramer, a participating artist for 32 years, and Dave Wade, an 8-time Prix de West artist. And while he was not a Prix de West artist, the passing of Richard Schmidt, whose singular talent inspired many of our Prix de West artists, was a great loss to the entire world of art. Also notable to our Prix de West family was the loss of James Jim Bruce. Jim was an Oklahoma City native, and he was a close friend to many of our artists, and he was a huge supporter of the Prix de West. And he certainly will be missed by all. So, condolences to all their families and friends. Each year, we commission a Prix de West Collectorsbolo from one of our artists. And this year's Collectorsbolo was created by 18-year Prix de West veteran Dan Ostermiller. And in thinking about the design for this year's bolo, Dan said that he was inspired by turning to the Great Plains toad that frequents the ponds and his studio. And this relatively large species of toad is ubiquitous throughout the North American Great Plains, from Canada to Mexico, and it thrives in diverse habitats, including grasslands, agricultural areas, floodplains, and deserts. In addition, Dan thought that the shape of the Great Plains toad lends itself well for use as a bolo, and a limited number of these bolos were finished in silver for presentation to our Prix de West Society members, and others in gold for the Prix de West Society Patron Circle members, and also members of the Prix de West Society Sustainer Circle. So please join me in thanking Dan for his wonderful creation of this year's bolo. And now for the presentation of the 2021 Prix de West Awards. Because of the superior quality of all of the Prix de West works, it is always a challenge for our Prix de West committee to choose the final award winners. Because quite honestly, as I'm sure you realize, there are always several deserving artists for each and every award. So in making the final award selections, our committee strives each year to recognize as many of the deserving artists as possible, and that normally requires a minimum of 5 hours of deliberation each year. So, here to present our very first award this afternoon, please welcome Prix de West Committee member Liz Loki. Liz?
Good afternoon. We begin with the Donald Teague Memorial Award, sponsored by Scottsdale Art Auction. This award recognizes an artist for their exceptional artistic merit for work on paper, providing a $3,000 award. The category encompasses watercolor, transparent, opaque, gouache, color pencil, Conte crayon, pastel, graphite, and mixed media. Congratulations to the 2021 Donald Teague Memorial Award recipient is, well, now I can't open it, Joel R. Johnson, for his work titled Sunset Reflections. I hope that's right.
Thank you very much to the committee for recognizing my work in watercolor. And just to say a little bit about the piece, it was on location in Wyoming, the home state where I'm from and grew up. And for me, the great openness of Wyoming and the West is what, and the colors and the temperatures was really what my concern was in this painting. So the vastness of the West is always on my mind. And thank you all for this.
Next, I have the privilege of announcing the recipient of the Major General and Mrs. Don D. Pittman Wildlife Award, sponsored by the estate of Major General and Mrs. Don D. Pittman. Major General Pittman was a wildlife enthusiast who pursued his personal interest in wildlife subject matter as an amateur photographer. Wildlife artists often suggest that the subject matter picks them, and that an understanding of the anatomy and the patience to watch and wait to capture the essence of the subject that they are trying to draw. The 2021 Major General Mrs. Don D. Pittman Wildlife Award recipient will receive a $3,000 award for their exceptional work in wildlife painting or sculpture. Please help me in now congratulating Daniel Smith for his work entitled Through the Caldera.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. So And it's such a pleasure to always be here and be amongst all the great talent. And praise the Lord. Anyway, one little thing about the painting that struck me, there was a collector that came up and said, "I can smell the sulfur," which any of you that have been in the park and know the geothermic activity creates stench as well as atmosphere and mist and all kinds of atmospheric things that are somewhat inspirational to me. So, but anyway, wow, what an honor. So thanks, and thanks to the committee and Dan and everybody involved. So.
I am honored this year to present this year's Robert Lockheed Memorial Award. This award is sponsored by Barbara and Roger Simmons in memory of Freda and George Simons, true Western enthusiasts. The award was established in 1988 in memory of the late Robert Lockheed, a Prix de West artist who influenced many other Prix de West artists with his talent and his teachings. A $3,000 award will go to the recipient of this award. Each year, the artist who receives this work is chosen by fellow Prix de West exhibiting artists who select their favorite display of 3 or more works in the show for one of their peers. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to announce and invite to the stage the recipient of the 2021 Robert Lockheed Memorial Award. And this year, it is Scott Burdick for his works titled The Many Colors of Our Nation. He's here. Well, on Scott's behalf, we congratulate him again, and we'll try to find him to give his pendant.
Presenting our next award, please welcome Prix de West committee member Gary Kinslow.
Hello, everyone. Isn't it great to be back in a room with some of my best friends in the world, all in the same room? It's like a Prix de West reunion. I love it. Next is Express Ranch's Guest Great American Cowboy Award, sponsored by Robert A. Funk and Express Ranches. It comes as no surprise that Express Ranches is the award presented this year, gives this award presented this year to the best cowboy subject matter. Here to make some remarks and help with the presentation of the award is Bob Funk Jr. Bob, please come on up.
Appreciate it. Hold on, it's a little bit of a hazard with the height. Bob Funk Sr., the Funk family, and Express Ranches have been involved with the museum for decades, really since the inception of our ranching operation back in the early 90s. Bob Sr. was on the board for many years and loved participating in the regular activities here at the museum. And I am still old enough to make the mistake of calling the museum by its previous name on a somewhat regular basis. And Express Ranches is a proud sponsor of the museum because of its amazing and outstanding works of art, its excellent programming, and its commitment to Western art and cowboy culture. For the Funk family and for Bob Sr. specifically, the museum is an important part of his legacy moving forward and will continue to be so part of the Funk family's legacy for years to come. So for that reason, Express Ranches is proud to be here to support and present this award and support the museum's commitment to excellence. Thank you. Gary?
Congratulations to the 2021 Express Ranches Great American Cowboy Award winner and the recipient of a $3,000 award. For their work, read the wrong script here. Eric Bowman for his work entitled Overlook. Congratulations, Eric.
Are you kidding me? Holy buckets, is that a few words? Is that good enough? Thank you. Thank you so much. What a privilege. Man, what an honor. I'm too new to see that coming, so I'm sorry. That's all I got to say. Just thank you.
Okay, the Wilson Hurley Memorial Award, named for the late Wilson Hurley, is sponsored by More Tax and Financial Services. The winner of this award also receives $3,000 for their exceptional artistic merit of landscape work. Congratulations to Skip Whitcomb. For his work titled Moses Cooley Mares.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. I'm been here a little longer than Eric, but I'm going to have to kind of follow his lead on this. I was completely stunned. So, thanks, guys.
Okay, the James Earl Frazer Sculptor Award, sponsored by the Charlie Russell Writers in honor of their founder and president, Steve Rose. This award is named for the deceased artist whose body of work includes one of the most widely recognized images of our time, and one that has become a signature piece in this museum. It is the imposing end-of-the-trail sculpture that we initially see when we arrive at the museum. For visitors, it is their first and last impression of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. The recipient of this year's award receives $3,000 and is being recognized for their exceptional artistic merit for a sculptor. Please join me in congratulating Ross Madison for his work titled Black Merlin.
There's a lot of really nice sculpture in this year's show, and so this means a lot to me. I would like to say one thing about the piece. This species, the Merlin, is a little falcon that has 3 different subspecies. It has a very dark phase, a brown phase, a very blonde phase. And in the Northwest, where I live, I'm privileged to have that dark phase Merlin to observe. And all 3 of these birds are one of the most beautiful birds that I know. And I've waited 30 years, 29 years that I've been in the show to depict this species because of how much I love the species. So to have this opportunity to share this with you, it means a lot to me. And to thank you for the award.
Please welcome back to the stage Prix de West Committee Chairman Dan Karazi.
I have some good news. We were able to track down the recipient of this year's Lockheed Award, Scott Burdick. Scott, you come up and Liz will present the award here.
Well, that was pretty cool, getting something from my fellow artists. It really means a lot. I was out in the galleries, and I did know that this was supposed to start at 12. And then these young artists came up, and they told me they had driven here from South Carolina 18 hours, and this is the 4th time they've come to this show, and really talented young artists. And I was telling them about how Sue and I had come down from Chicago many times to this show when we were just out of art school to see all of these artists. And so I just started talking to them and telling them stories, and they were telling me their art. And then all of a sudden I looked at my phone and I was like, 12:25. Aren't I supposed to be somewhere? And then Jeremy texted me, I think you should be here. And so I was like, so I came back here and I got here, and so that's my excuse. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, really.
Our next award is the Frederick Remington Painting Award, which is sponsored by Donna Holt, Jan Provine, and Terry Sadler in loving memory of their parents, Russ and Dorothy Sadler, who were lifetime museum members and docents. Frederick Remington was both a sculptor and a painter, but it's his perfection in the art of painting for which this prestigious medallion is awarded. And receiving this year's Frederick Remington Painting Award and $3,000 for exceptional artistic merit for a painting, we congratulate Dan Gerhardt for Wayfaring Stranger. Congratulations to Dan. Unfortunately, Dan is unable to join us this weekend, but please turn your attention to the screens on either side of me for his remarks.
It's a great honor to receive this year's Frederick Remington Award. I want to thank all those at the Cowboy Hall for their tireless work for months and months preparing for the show. What a great privilege to be part of this show with so many great artists. I want to thank our Lord for just showering us with his love and beauty, and as an artist, to have the honor of trying to capture that within whatever works we're working on is a true thrill. I want to thank my wife Jennifer, who has been with me for 33 years and is at my side and helps me make basically all decisions in regards to what we're doing with the artwork over the years. So it's really been a joint effort. I want to thank my parents who introduced me to music. My dad was a baritone, sang in an a cappella group. It was his singing that first introduced me to the song Wayfaring Stranger, which is the song that I illustrated with the piece in the show. The lyrics caught me again off guard this year. I really just had to capture it. So I am just honored that the piece is hanging in this year's Prix de West. Thanks to Walt and Dan and our people that have helped us along the way and introduced us to people at the Cowboy Hall. Richard Schmid, my artistic mentor, who is dearly missed, and he was a great friend, very kind and generous man. So many people to thank. Again, thanks to all at the board of directors and the Cowboy Hall.
On certain occasions, the Prix de West committee is struck by a work of art that they feel deserves special recognition, and the Director's Choice Award for Excellence is given on those special occasions. The award is sponsored by a member of the Prix de West committee who chooses to stay anonymous, and receiving this special recognition Director's Choice Award for Excellence, as well as $3,000 for an exceptional work of art. Congratulations goes to John Moyers for his work titled Vanguard of the Northern Plains.
Thank you to the directors and everything, and I don't know what to say, but thank you. It's just that one caught me off guard. So, but anyway, thank you.
Each year, the Prix de West Committee is faced with the very daunting task of selecting one piece of art out of the multitude of exceptional works that are in the show for the museum's permanent collection. And I'm sure you can imagine that there is a significant amount of time and effort each year that goes into screening all of the art for a show of this size. Additionally, each year, considerable deliberation by the Prix de West Committee goes into the final selection of one piece from the entire show that is selected to become part of the museum's permanent collection. The Prix de West Purchase Award is sponsored by Roberta M. Elridge Miller, and the artist whose work is selected for this honor receives the purchase price and a $5,000 award. And as you might expect, this award is the most coveted of all the awards by our participating artists. Excuse me. Because since 1973, the Purchase Award piece becomes part of the museum's permanent collection, and the resulting Prix de West collection is rich in diversity, style, subject matter, and medium. And it contains works by many of the most celebrated artists of the past 50 years. And because of that, the collection forms a cornerstone of the museum's renowned Western art collection. But before I announce this year's winner, let's turn our attention to the screens on either side of me as we recognize the previous Purchase Award winners. And now we invite all past Prix de West Purchase Award winners who are with us this afternoon to please stand and be recognized. Congratulations to each and every one of you. As mentioned, the selection of the Purchase Award each year is significant because the artist's work that is selected becomes part of the museum's story for generations to come. And by visiting the galleries, you can look back through the years and see each work that was most influential during the museum story, or telling the museum story at that time. And now, with that being said, the Prix de West Committee has selected a single piece to best complement the museum's collection and to be appreciated by all of the museum's visitors for years to come. And now, it gives me a sincere pleasure to announce this year's Prix de West Purchase Award, which goes to Greg Beecham for his work entitled Gone Fishin'.
I'd be lying if I
said that I never dreamed of this, but I never thought it would happen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, committee. This is the big one. This is the greatest honor I've ever had and greatest honor I'll ever get. That's all I got.
Congratulations, Greg. On behalf of the museum, we're delighted to have your work on display in our permanent collection, and we look forward to hearing your remarks. I'm sure you're going to need some time to make some notes this evening during our closing celebration. Again, congratulations to all of our award-winning artists. But before departing the museum this afternoon, we invite everyone to revisit the galleries, to admire and to appreciate the work of today's award winners, and also the work of all of our artists who have done a truly outstanding job this year. And please be sure to join us for the sale this evening. We need sales. Which is followed by our closing celebration that includes the live auction and the announcement of the Buyer's Choice Award. So on behalf of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, I thank you for spending the weekend with us, and because of you, the Prix de West continues to be a wonderful social event and a truly unique experience for the entire Western art community. We look forward to seeing you tonight. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and thank you.